Hi everyone, this is Dango from Rocky Valley server. In this video, I'm going to discuss about the long-term investment. So who should you invest for long-term? For like Season 2 AP, like Apex Arena, or like even the Ancient Call. So let's begin with SSR characters. Leon. So Leon is very strong in Ancient Call, and he's overall strong in some of the like PvE content. Yeah, but if you already have a decent Leon, you can kind of stop investing in him more. We will have a secondary enchantment after Ancient Call. I don't really recommend you to put any resource on Leon because he is already good enough for the PvE units, for the PvE content. And Bernhard is a very strong character in both Season 1 and Season 2, and also he's usable. He's actually very strong in Ancient Call. So Bernhard is a character that you want to put lots of resource and to reroll for good enchantment for your Bernhard. Lana is a strong PvE character in later. She is very strong in Season 1, but she is not really useful in Season 2, just because summoning strategy has been, totally, totally not useful in Season 2. So, Lana, if you already built her, you can just keep using her. But I don't recommend you to put any of the secondary enchantments or using the material we get from Ancient Call to further, enchant Lana. I don't recommend you to do that. Bozo is a very strong and relevant character for Season 1 and for Season 2. And in Season 2, he is not as strong as Season 1 because he cannot summon. But, he still know how to cut that. He's 2 AoE attack and, sleep. He's the faction buff for Dark Affection. So this alone makes Bozo still very useful in Season 2. And Bozo focus on magic defense, so it's pretty easy to further improve your Bozo. So I would say Bozo is still worth your long-term investment. If you don't have 6-star Bozo, there is no rush to farm shards for him. But if you do have a chance, having a 6-star Bozo can be very useful as well. Leading is a very disappointing character. He's not very good in both the future PvE challenge and he's not good in Season 2. So I don't really recommend you to invest in leading. If you love leading, definitely put resource on him. He looks very cool, and he has a very fancy skin. But no, he is just a disappointing character. Iowan, on the other hand, is very strong in Season 2 because the meta shift from AoE meta to single target meta in Season 2, and Iowan is one of the most buffed character. He is very strong in Season 2. He is not that strong in Ancient Call, but I think you can still use him. So definitely put more resource on Iowan if you are focusing on Glory and Impair team. Cherry is not useful in Season 2, and Cherry is not even useful in Season 1. She is not good in Ancient Call 2. So, I know lots of you guys love Cherry, but, yeah, if you just want to have a better score in Ancient Call, or if you just want to have a, better score in PvP, putting resource on her is not a good choice. Diana, is always one of the best healer. She's the best healer in Season 1 and she's the best healer in Season 2. If you don't have her at 6-star, always try to farm her as soon as possible to 6-star. Altmuller is not very useful in Season 2, but he is one of the best tank needed for Ancient Call. So you still want to invest him a little bit so that you can get a decent score in Ancient Call. But you don't need to, further put more extra resource on him just because he's not that good in PvP. Luna is one of the other buffed characters in Season 2, as we discussed, similarly as Elven, Luna is one of the strongest single-target attacker in Season 2, because you can stack a lot of magic defense in Season 2 with the enchantments that you get from Ancient Call. She becomes very OP in Season 2. She can, with the help of Tiaras, or she can one-shot tanks, or without Tiaras, maybe you can't one-shot tank, but you can still deal a significant amount of damage. So Luna is one of the characters actually worth your long-term investment, and she will be needed in 2 or 3 maps of the Ancient Call. So definitely try to invest her as soon as possible, if you can. Dear Heart, very disappointing character in Season 2. Basically, assassins expect Zareda is not as usable in Season 2. So Dear Heart, he should be strong, but he is just not designed to be strong in Langrisser Mobile. So very disappointing, and he's not useful in Ancient Call also. So yeah, Dear Heart, I don't recommend you to put any resource on him. Zareda is still relevant in Season 2. In Season 2, she is not that strong because she can't kill many units anymore. Because we have, those units will have secondary enchantment from Ancient Call. So Zareda, it is harder for Zareda to kill units. But she still have a, super long threat range, so she will also be a threat to your enemy. In this way, she is still very relevant for Season 2. You will still include her in your box of 15, but she will no longer be your first ban. So you still need to put a resource on her. Tiara is one of the must-have character for Ancient Call. A battle in Ancient Call without Tiaras or with Tiaras is totally different. You should invest on her. You should at least have her at 5-star or above to be able to clear Ancient Call without too much difficulty. So yeah, so I think you should invest her to at least 5-star and above. For enchantment, make sure she has high health points, she has high intelligence, so that her health can actually heal, right? You want she to heal enough health points, especially in Ancient Call. This is very needed. So for Jajular, he is one of the 2 best tanks in this game. So just invest Jajular, and you need him at 6-star. And yeah, definitely put secondary resource on him. Glorit and Layla. So this couple will become strong probably in Season 3, because they just get a super strong 3C scale. 3C scale is the awakening scale that we will get after the major update after like 1 year anniversary. So 3C scale for Glorit and Layla, super strong. They are decent in Season 1 if you have them at higher star. They are okay at Season 2 if you have them at higher star. And they can be useful in one of the maps in Ancient Call. So I think it actually worth to invest on them. But maybe when you really think to when you really should put resource on them is maybe starting from Season 3. They will be I predict them to be very relevant for Season 3. So Shelfonio is not very useful in Ancient Call. Is pretty decent for Season 1 and is very good in Season 2. So in Season 2, the meta shift from the AoE meta to single target meta, but you will still have some AoE characters in like Season 2, and Shelfonio is probably the only mage that can be useful in Season 2, because her special gear grant her very huge range, and she can spam AoE, like endlessly. So the other problem for this other AoE attacker is that now AoE cannot kill. Like you cannot use AoE to kill other people, and it is very hard to do like AoE combo when there is no summon. So AoE just becomes very weak. But Shelfonio can just spam AoE after AoE. So yeah, so this makes her basically the only mage that is good in season 2. She's still not top tier in season 2, but if you do want to use a mage, she is probably the only mage that is useful in season 2. So Angelina is decent. I mean, you can always use Angelina to like to suppress your enemy. So Angelina worth some investment, but she is never top tier in both season 1 or season 2. She will be very useful in Ancient Call, because her function, alternate and attack command, those are just like top tier PVE skills. Landforms very useful in Ancient Call, but not useful in season 2. If you are a whale, or you invest heavily in strategic faction and legend faction, you can put some resource on him. Otherwise, I don't recommend you to invest on him. Listel is the god tier for season 2. You should farm Listel to 6-star as soon as possible. She will be like her position in season 2 is similar to Zareda in season 1. So basically, the first ban will likely be your Listel. So Listel is very strong. If they don't ban your Listel, just pick her at first pick, then you will take the win. So Listel is just ridiculously strong. After the secondary enchantment, she is very hard to kill, and she is super annoying. Just a very OP character. Landius is still very relevant in season 2. He is one of the other 2 tanks besides Jaguar that is very strong. So definitely put resource on him. Secondary enchantment. Also try to put on your Landius as soon as possible so that he can survive being one-shot from Elven and Luna. Maybe it's still hard from Elven, but if you have good resource on him, he should at least be okay. Like he should at least to survive from Luna. Ritual is the other mage that can be potentially possible to include in your box because she provides the healing ability and debuff removal ability. But she is no longer as OP as season 1 because her AoE cannot kill enemy, and basically mages are not very OP in season 2. But you can still put her in your box just because she can heal, and she can heal when dealing damage. That's still a very useful skill to have. So Wither is something usually very relevant in playoff season to suppress your enemy. He's never a very good healer because he don't have the one cost heal skill. So you can if you have extra resource, if you are a whale, you can put some resource on Wheeler just to use him in playoff season to suppress your enemy. Other than that, he is not very useful in any of the PvE content, and even like when you are farming points in PvP, he is not that efficient, but he can be a very good choice for basically for the playoff season. So Kozlov is very strong in season 1. Is one of the best characters in season 1. But in season 2 of the Apex Arena, because summon has been changed, so Kozlov is not as strong as season 1, but he is one of the units that is still useful in season 2, because the construct that Kozlov summoned will actually deal significant amount of damage, especially in season 2 after you put some secondary enchantment for Kozlov. His summoned construct can hit pretty hard with him. So Kozlov, although not top tier in season 2, you can still use him. I don't really recommend you to put more resource on Kozlov unless you are a super big whale, because it is kind of hard to have a good Kozlov. And Sigma. So Sigma, he is the faction buff for Legend faction. He is not very good in season 2. He may be good in season 3, but Yeah, unless you super love Sigma, I don't really recommend you to put more resource on your Sigma. Yeah, right now I can't think of any good reason that why you should invest on him. So basically, yeah, let's see what three. So Lamata, she is a decent unit to have for season 1, but she is not very good in season 2 for the reason that we discussed before. AoE just not working, and she cannot, like Shiafonio, she cannot spam AoE after AoE. So basically, she is not relevant for season 2, and she is not that good in Ancient Core as well. So my recommendation is to not put any resource on Lamata. So for SR skill in for SR characters in season 2, only a few of them are still useful. For example, Vigors. Vigors is actually the third strong tank that you can have in season 2. Vigors is very relevant if you are running an Empire team. So he's actually yeah a good option if you are running an Empire team. Livni is very strong in season 1 right now because she can summon bombs, but Livni is not useful in season 2, so I don't recommend you to put many resources on her. But in season 1, just grab her summon skill and make her make sure she has a decent enchantment. That'd probably be enough. So Sophia is one of the best healers still in season 2. She couples well with Judula's team, yeah, and her revenge skill can still be very useful. So like if you already put a ton of resource on Sophia, you can keep invest on her. She will never fail you. Like her mechanism, the revenge skill will always make her usable, even in season 3. Emmerich is relevant in season 1, not really relevant in season 2. I don't recommend you to put more resource on Emmerich, because it is just very easy to counter him. Silverwolf. Silverwolf is like okay to use in season 1 and okay to use in season 2. If you are a big fan of Silverwolf, you can invest. You can put resource on him and invest him. Other than that, like if you just want to like farm points as fast as possible, and if you just want to win Apex Arena, I still don't recommend you to put huge amount of resource on him. He can be very good if you put high resource on him, but he's still not a top tier choice. So Recrea is good for season 1. She's not very relevant in season 2. I don't recommend you to put more resource on her. Verna is very strong in season 1. She is relevant in season 2, but but Wales probably will replace Verna. But if you are like free-to-play player, Verna can still be very helpful for season 2 just because she can provide this small faction buff for you, and her southern arrow is still very annoying. So for our characters, to be honest, I haven't seen any our characters so far in high-level PvP battle in Chinese server. Just because Jessica can teleport, but then later you have Alice to do the same job. So Jessica is probably the only character that is relevant in season 2, because she can work with Judula's team, and her teleport is still useful. But yeah, basically, yeah, I still don't recommend you to put tons of resource on her just because for long term those R characters will not be able to compete with those SSR characters. So the other characters that I want to discuss a little bit about is Chloe, still very relevant and strong in season 2. And again, just because the function how she works, I think she will be relevant for season 3 as well. So never a bad investment. Leonhardt is still a choice in season 2. He is no longer top tier in season 2, but still a decent choice to have. And just because he can, always move 2 times in one round, and he can provide this AOE that can remove buffs from a team. This makes him still a very good choice, but he's no longer that OP in Season 2. But it is still good to have him in your box. It's still not very useful in Season 2. Yeah, basically she becomes kind of bottom tier in Season 2. Don't really recommend you to put tons of resource on her. Joshua is okay in Season 2. Joshua is just because he can call faction buff for the crossover characters, and some of the crossover characters like Leonhardt and later we will have other crossover factions. Yeah, so this makes Joshua useful, and he still have a very strong land skill that can remove buffs, which is very useful. So Olivia is not very strong in Season 2. If you are running Imperial faction, you can still use him. Other than that, I'm probably not going to recommend you to build a strong Olivia. Rini is not very relevant in Season 2. But she is a very strong character in all the PvE content, like even in Challenge or Ancient Call, she is a very strong character to pick up. But other than that, in PvP, she is not that strong. And now let's review again who should you max out first. So my recommendation is try to max out Bernhardt, and try to max out Luna, try to max out Tierras, or at least do 5-star and above. Try to max out Jugular, try to max out Listel, try to max out Landius. Yeah, so basically those are the most important characters for Season 2 and Ancient Call. Landius, Listel, Jugular, Tierras, Luna, and Bernhardt. That's all about this video. Thanks for watching.